Hey guys, welcome to this Easy Maths video. In this video I wanted to show you this really great A-level maths revision resource I found called AI Tutor. Now, I stumbled across this site when looking for A-level questions to use in my videos. And what has really intrigued me about this site is the fact that they provide a large variety of exam questions. Not only that, but it appears that once you have completed a series of questions, the future questions that you then receive are personally optimized so that you can concentrate on revising for the topics that you are weakest at. So this is the main dashboard for this site. As you can see, I'm logged into a premium account. Now this is something that you have to pay for. I believe it's £7 per month. However, I did manage to get in contact with the guys at AI Tutor, and they were nice enough to give a 20% discount code to the first 100 members who sign up for premium membership. But there is also a free version which has some really great features on it. So the dashboard shows this question of the day. So it says the question of the day, this one's an easy one, try and do it in under 60 seconds. So if we click this, so the question of the day is solve the linear inequality 7x plus 2 is less than or equal to 12x plus 3. So this is a nice easy question. Let's just do this quickly. So we can subtract 7x from both sides. Get 2 is less than or equal to 5x plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides. We get minus 1 is less than or equal to 5x. Divide both sides through by 5. We get minus 1/5 is less than or equal to x. Or in other words, x is greater than or equal to minus 1/5. And as you can see, that is our answer here. Okay, so what's really good about this site is once you've answered a question, regardless of whether it's right or wrong, it's actually going to give you a solution to the question. It's going to show you exactly step by step how you will work out this question. So yeah, it's really great stuff there. We can move on to the next question. So again, it's very similar. So if we try this question, so we got 9x plus 5 is less than or equal to 12x plus 6. So again, if we subtract 9x from both sides, we get 5 is less than or equal to 3x plus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides, we get minus 1 is less than or equal to 3x. Divide both sides by 3, we get minus 1/3 is less than or equal to x. So this is just the same as saying x is greater than or equal to minus 1/3. And that is our answer here. So again, it gives us a step-by-step solution of how to solve this question. So now back on the dashboard, something else that is worth mentioning is you'll see that there's this referral code. And what this basically means is that if you refer a friend to the site, both you and your friend will get a £10 discount to use towards premium membership. So that's another great discount that the site offers. So on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's these different tabs. So you've got the dashboard, topics, homework, syllabus, exams, and progress. So let's have a look at each of these tabs and see what features they offer. So this is the topics tab. So this menu shows a list of all the topics for both the AS and A2 math syllabus. You can change between the two by clicking on this downward arrow. So you'll see you've got Mathematics A2 and Mathematics AS. So if we click on Mathematics AS, you'll see that it will bring up less topics because this is just for the AS syllabus. If we click on Mathematics A2, this will give us the full A-level maths syllabus. So it's split into the main three areas: pure maths, mechanics, and statistics. Let's say we want to revise the laws of logarithms. So to find that will be under pure maths, exponentials, and logarithms. So if we click on this, you'll see that I'm brought to this menu and there's 7 options showing all of the different types of questions for logarithms and exponentials. So we want to practice laws of logarithms, so we click this. Then you'll see that I'm brought up to this page where I've got a lesson on the left-hand side and then a load of questions on the right-hand side. So the lesson on the left-hand side is a video that you can view if you don't know where to start. So if we click on this, you'll see that there's video tutorials showing you how to solve each of the main questions that make up this topic. And down below, you'll see that there's also questions that you can answer. to help further your understanding. And the videos are really good. The videos are really well explained. So if we go back, so if you feel more comfortable with a topic, you can start by just having a go at some of the questions. So if you click more down here, you'll see that it brings up a load of questions. What's great about this site is it doesn't just give you a load of random questions to work through. Every type of question that you could see in an exam for a particular topic is shown right here. It even shows you the level of difficulty for each question. So if we wanted to, we could start right at the bottom looking at these D grade questions. So this first one is multiple log definitions. And then we can work our way right up to the A star questions. So once you know what style of questions you want to choose, it will then bring up a load of questions for you to work on. And another really great feature about this site is you will never run out of questions, because you can keep testing yourself until you feel confident enough to move on to another topic. So looking at these different types of questions, let's say we want to solve quadratic exponential equations. So the question says solve for x, 3e to the power of 8x plus 6 minus 78e to the power of 4x plus 3 plus 504 equals 0. And we've got all of our different answers down here. So if we solve this one quickly, so it's minus 78e to the power of 4x plus 3 plus 504 equals 0. Okay, so we need to use some form of substitution in order to turn this into a nicer equation to solve. So we've got this power of 4x plus 3. Okay, and here we've got this power of 8x plus 6. So we take out a factor of 2 for 8x plus 6, we're going to get 3e to the power of 2 multiplied by 4x plus 3 minus 78e to the power of 4x plus 3. And that's plus 504 equals 0. You can now use a substitution. Say let y equal 4x plus 3. And we get 3e to the power of 2y minus 78e to the power of y plus 504 equals 0. Okay, but this equation still has exponential functions in it. So we need to get rid of these exponential functions by using another substitution. So we'll say let z equal e to the y. Now an e to the 2y is the same as saying e to the y all squared. And e to the power of y is just z, so that's just z squared. So we can rewrite this as 3z squared minus 78z plus 504 equals 0. Now you can solve this quadratic equation using the quadratic formula, but to save time I'm just going to solve it on the calculator. So if we go to menu and select option A, equation / function, and then option 2, which is polynomial. Because we're solving a quadratic, our polynomial is going to have highest degree of 2. So just enter the values here. So it's 3 minus 78 and 504. Press equals. So our values of z are 14 and 12. Okay, so we're not trying to work out our values of z, we're trying to work out our values of x. So we're going to have to use our substitutions, going from z to y and then y to x, in order to work out what our x values are. So z equals 14, well our substitution for z was e to the power of y, so we can just write this as e to the power of y equals 14. And the same with z equals 12, this is just e to the power of y equals 12. Now to solve for y, we take the natural log of both sides. So we get the natural log of e to the power of y equals the natural log of 14. And for the second equation, it's the natural log e to the power of y equals the natural log of 12. We can then use our laws of logarithms to bring down the power of y. So we get y multiplied by the natural log of e equals the natural log of 14. And y multiplied by the natural log of e equals the natural log of 12. Now the natural log and e are inverses of each other. So that's just going to give us 1. So we get y equals the natural log of 14 and y equals the natural log of 12. So to work out our values of x, we just use the substitution y equals 4x plus 3 and solve for x to work out what our x values are. So that's saying 4x plus 3 equals the natural log of 14, and 4x plus 3 equals the natural log of 12. So we're going to get x equals the natural log of 14 minus 3 all divided by 4 for our first x value. And our second x value is going to be the natural log of 12 minus 3 all divided by 4. And we can just work these out on our calculator. So we go to menu, select option 1, press the fraction key. We're going to get the natural log of 14 minus 3 all divided by 4. As you can see here, we want our first answer to 2 decimal places. So that's going to give us x equals minus 0.09, 2 decimal places. And our second value of x, press AC, press the fraction key, we're going to have natural log of 12 minus 3 divided by 4. And our second answer, we also want to 2 decimal places, so that's going to be minus 0.13. And if we look at our answers, this option agrees with our answers. So if we select that, you'll see it highlights it green, which means we got the correct answer. And it gives us a full step-by-step solution in how to solve that question. So you can move on to the next question. And as you can see, it will give you a question which is of a very similar style, just with different numbers. Now, I'm not going to solve this one, because they're quite time-consuming, these questions, but we'll have a look at mechanics and a statistics question. So now when we go back, you'll see that my progress bar for these types of questions has increased. And by doing that, my overall progress for this topic has also increased. And you can see that by this graph here. And obviously, the more questions that you complete and the more that you get right, then the more your overall progress will increase for this topic. So let's now have a look at some mechanics questions. So we go to topics, and now when we look in the mechanics section, let's say we want to have a look at kinematics and differentiating displacement. So we click on kinematics, and you can see I've completed a bit on SUVATs with constant acceleration. But here we're going to want to look at calculus with kinematics. And then if I scroll down and click more, you'll see that I've got all of these different options. And we wanted to look at differentiating displacement. So that is this option here. Okay, so this question says, a crow leaves its nest at time t equals 0 for a short flight along a straight line. The crow then returns to its nest. The crow is modelled as a particle moving along a straight horizontal line. The distance s meters of the crow from its nest at time t seconds is given by this following equation. Find the distance of the crow from the nest when the crow first comes to instantaneous rest. And we've got our list of answers here. So this is a 6-mark question. Okay, so we need to find the distance of the crow from the nest when the crow first comes to instantaneous rest. Right. So what that means is the bird is flying away from its nest and then it automatically stops. And when it suddenly stops, that means its velocity will be equal to 0. So here we've got a function in terms of t, our time, for our distance s. That's what s is. S is our distance. And we want to try and work out t when v equals 0. That's basically what we're saying here. It turns out that velocity is equal to the derivative of displacement with respect to time. So we write it as ds by dt. So that means we can differentiate this function with respect to t. So we're going to get v equals ds by dt. So if we multiply down and subtract 1 from the power, we're going to get 1/8 t cubed minus 13 over 8 t squared plus 21 over 4 t. And then when we differentiate the constant 77, we're just left with 0. So instantaneous rest means that v equals 0. So this means we get 1/8 t cubed minus 13/8 t squared plus 21 over 4 t equals 0. We know there's a common factor of t here, so we can just factorise out t. We get 1/8 t squared minus 13 over 8 multiplied by t plus 21 over 4. That equals 0. So if we divide everything through by this expression, we're just going to be left with t equals 0. Well, we know when t is 0, that's the time at which the crow leaves the nest. So we can't use that for our time. But if we divide through by this value of t, then we're just going to be left with 1/8 t squared minus 13/8 t plus 21 over 4 equals 0. Then to make this a nicer looking quadratic, we can just multiply everything through by 8. So we get t squared minus 13t plus, and that's going to be 21 times 2, which is 42, and that equals 0. Okay, so this is an easy quadratic to factorise because we know 42 has factors of 6 and 7. And then if we take the sum of minus 6 and minus 7, that's going to give us minus 13. So this will factorise to t minus 6, and t minus 7 equals 0. So that means t equals 6 seconds, or t equals 7 seconds. So these are the times where the crow comes to instantaneous rest. So what we can do is we can substitute these values of t into our function for s and then work out the distance that the crow was away from its nest. So first we use t equals 6. So when t equals 6, we're going to get s equals 6 to the 4 over 32 minus 13 over 24, 6 cubed plus 21 over 8 multiplied by 6 squared plus 77. Okay, and we can work that out on our calculator. So that's 6 to the power 4 over 32 minus 13 over 24 multiplied by 6 cubed plus 21 over 8 multiplied by 6 squared plus 77. That gives us an answer of 95. So S equals 95 meters. Now that is actually one of our answers. But remember, we've also got that t equals 7 seconds. So let's just work out what our distance s is going to be when t is 7. So when t is 7, s equals 7 to the power 4 over 32 minus 13 over 24 times 7 cubed plus 21 over 8 multiplied by 7 squared plus 77. Work this out on our calculator. Right, and when t is 7, this is going to be 7 to the power of 4 divided by 32 minus 13 over 24 times 7 cubed plus 21 over 8 times 7 squared plus 77. That gives us an answer of s equals 94.9 meters to one decimal place. And also, if we round that up to the nearest whole number, we're just going to get s equals 95 meters. So really, there's no difference between the two times. Our final answer must be 95. So we can select 95. As you can see, that is the correct answer. And we've got this step-by-step solution, which shows you how to solve a question if you didn't get that answer. So we can press next question. So if we now go back, so again, we can see that my competence has increased for these styles of questions, and therefore my overall progress for this topic has also increased. So if we go back to the topics menu and have a look at statistics questions, so say we want to revise the normal distribution. So that means we're going to go to statistical distributions, then click the normal distribution, and then if we select more,
You see we've got all of these questions ranging from D grade up to A star. And let's say we want to practice finding the mean and standard deviation given some Z value. Okay, so let's have a go at these questions. Okay, this question, part A, says the random variable x is modelled using the normal distribution. It says x is normally distributed with mean, mu, and variance 3 squared. Given that the probability that x is greater than 160.76 equals 0.4, find mu, giving your answer to the nearest integer. Okay, so we say that the probability that a random variable x is less than some particular value of x is equal to 5x. Right, so in this case, we've got the probability that x is greater than 160.76. That equals 0.4. So if we draw our bell curve for the normal distribution, and this value is 160.76, then this whole area here is going to represent a probability of 0.4. But we can also get that same probability by taking 1 and subtracting it from this region here. So we can say that 1 minus the probability that x is less than 160.76 equals 0.4. We can then rearrange this to get the probability that x is less than 160.76. That's going to be 1 minus 0.4, which is 0.6. Now, we need to work out mu, so we can work out mu using the standard normal distributions. So the random variable z will be normally distributed with a mean of 0 and a variance of 1. And this means that the probability that z is less than 160.76 minus the mean mu over the standard deviation sigma, which in this case is 3. And that equals 0.6. So we can write this as phi of 160.76 minus mu over 3 equals 0.6. Then we can just take the inverse phi of both sides. So we get 160.76 minus mu divided by 3 equals the inverse of phi of 0.6. Now, and if we use our calculator, press the menu button, go to option 7, which is distribution, select inverse normal, which is option 3, then we can say that the area is equal to 0.6. We have a standard deviation of 1 and a mean of 0, since this is the standard normal distribution. And we get that the inverse of phi of 0.6 is equal to 0.253, and so that's 3 decimal places. Now, and if we go to menu and go back to option 1, we can then rearrange this result to work out what mu is. So that means mu will equal 160.76 minus 3 times the inverse of phi of 0.6. Okay, so that's going to be 160.76 minus 3, and then I'm just going to multiply this by our answer that we previously had, select equals, and you can see I get 159.9999587. We want to give our answer to the nearest integer, so in that case mu is going to equal 160. 160 is one of our answers. As you see, that is correct, and it gives us a step-by-step solution of how to solve that question. So next part B, says find the probability that z is greater than or equal to 0.66667. Round your answer to 5 decimal places. So the probability that z is greater than or equal to 0.66667. Well, again, if we draw our bell curve, this is the bell curve for the standard normal distribution, so it's going to have a mean of 0, and then our z value would be roughly here, so that's 0.66667.
probability that z is greater than or equal to this value is this whole region here. So to get that same region, we can just do 1 minus this whole region in red. And that's the same as saying 1 minus the probability that z is less than or equal to 0.66667. And we can work that out on our calculator. So if we go to menu, select option 7 for distribution. Then if we select normal CD, which is option 2, then for our lower value, we can put minus 9 times 10 to the power of 99. That's a very small number. And then our upper value will be 0.66667. Standard deviation is 1, mean is 0, and we get this answer here, 0.7475 to 4 decimal places. If we go back to option 1, so that is now stored as our answer, then we can just do 1 minus answer, and to 5 decimal places, that is 0.25249. And that is this answer here. And again, that's correct. And it gives you a nice detailed solution of how you can work that out. Part C. Given that the probability that z less than a equals 0.0005, find value of a. So it's 0.0005. So the probability that z is less than a, we can just write that as phi of a. That equals 0.0005. And then take the inverse of phi both sides, so we get a equals the inverse phi of 0.0005. And now we can use our calculator. So we go to menu, go back to distribution, which is option 7. We want inverse normal, which is option 3. The area is 0.0005. It's going to have standard deviation of 1, mean of 0, and you can see that our answer, that A is minus 3.2905 to 4 decimal places. And that is our answer here. And as you can see, that is also correct. And we get a nice detailed solution there as well. So if we select next question, it will also give us a similar set of questions that we can work through. And if we go back, you will see that my competence for finding the mean and standard deviation giving a z value has increased, and my overall progress for this topic has also increased. So that should give you an introduction to the different types of questions that this service offers. As you can see, it covers the whole A-level syllabus. So pure maths, mechanics, statistics, and you can see there's a large variety of questions, and it gives you detailed solutions to every question, which is great for revision. So next, let's have a look at the homework section. Now in here, I'm using a student account, which is also connected to a teacher's account. So AI Tutor is also available for schools. If you're on an account which isn't connected to a teacher's account, when you select the homework tab, there will be an option here to enter your teacher's email address. And if you think any of your teachers might be interested, there'll be an option to enter your teacher's email address, and then they will be sent a notification about the site. From here, your teachers will then be able to set you homework, and the website will then mark the questions for you automatically. So here it's just saying that teachers are able to set homework. Currently no homework has been set on this account, so what I could do is I could request some, and instantly a request has now been sent to my teacher. So next, let's have a look at the syllabus menu. So this is very similar to the topics menu. Everything is the exact same. The main difference is it's got a slightly nicer layout, making it easier for you to navigate. So I can click on, say, proofs, gives me a breakdown of the whole topic. I can say go into proof by contradiction, and it shows you what questions I'm competent in, what questions I'm not so competent in.
So this website even has its own exam section. And another great feature about this site is I believe it will actually generate a unique exam based on the specifications of your exam board, which makes it a great resource, perfect for your revision. So the site offers exams for the three main exam boards being Edexcel, OCR and AQA. And I'm currently using the OCR exam board. So I can click the drop down arrow and I can switch between both the A2 and the AS exams. If I select AS and then say I want to do paper 1, which is pure maths and statistics, I can select this and it will bring up the whole exam for me and it will give me access to all 18 questions for this exam, and I can do any question in any order I like, so it's very similar to actually having a physical copy of the exam. So it's quite a nice feature that you don't have to do in question order. And then once you submit your exam, it will mark the exam automatically. It will then give you a grade and it will then plot your progress on this chart. And the more attempts you obviously do, it's going to be a really great resource to see where your strengths and where your weaknesses are. Now, if we have a look at the progress menu, you'll see it shows you the number of questions you've answered, the amount of questions you've answered correctly, and it then compares how well you've performed in pure maths, mechanics, and stats questions. It even shows you what grade you're currently working at. Now, and obviously the more questions you complete, the higher your grade will be. It says I'm currently working at a U grade, but that's because I haven't completed that many questions. Down here is also a section for your homework results. So like I said previously, this service is also available for schools. So your teacher will be able to log in and they can set you homework tasks which will be marked instantly through the website. There's also an exam results tab which feeds through from the exam section. And here there's also an activity calendar which shows what you've completed each month, which could be useful in the lead up to exams. Shows you the number of questions you've answered, the number of lessons you've completed, the exams you've taken, the amount of homework that's been completed. So that could be useful. And then there's also this pie chart which shows the amount of lessons that you haven't started, the amount of lessons that are in progress, and the amount of lessons that you've completed. So yeah, as you can see, this site has some really great features here, guys. And there's some features that I would have really loved to have had access to when I was doing my A-level maths. Now, and all of these analytics feed through from the questions that you've completed. So if we go back to the topics menu, and you actually see that I've completed quite a lot of the proof questions, and you'll see that within a few days my progress has shot up from 0 all the way up to just below 80. And if we click on proof by contradiction, you can see that I've nearly completed all of the questions. So this is kind of how this graph works. Obviously, the more questions you complete, then the higher your progress is going to be. And that is also what is fed through onto here. And you'll see that if I hover my mouse over here, I've completed 2% of pure questions, 3% of mechanics, and 2% of statistics questions. So that's all of the main features I'm going to show you guys in this video today. I hope it didn't come across like an advert. I just really wanted to show you guys how great this site really is and how it could be used as a great resource for your revision to really help you to succeed with A-level maths. So hopefully you found this useful. Remember, the site is called AI Tutor. The link is in the description of this video, and if I just show you the pricing quickly. So here's the pricing, so you can choose between both a basic and premium account. The basic plan is completely free and gives you access to 75 questions per month. There's still quite a few questions. It's definitely enough questions for you to get used to using the site and to see whether you want to upgrade to premium. It also gives you one video tutorial per topic, and it actually gives you the detailed workings for each question that you complete, and then you will also get access to all of the analytical features as well. Now, the premium membership is £7 per month, or remember, you can click the link in the description to this video and enter the code EasyMaths, all one word in uppercase letters, and you will receive a discount of 20%. But you have to be quick, as this offer is only available to the first 100 members who sign up using the link in the description. Now, the premium membership of the site actually guarantees that you get an A or an A star. So this basically means that if you average 90% in all the topics on AI Tutor and you don't receive an A or an A star in your final A-level maths exam, then you will be fully refunded for any membership fees that you've had to pay. So that is something really worth noting. Also, with Premium, you'll get access to an unlimited number of questions. There's no cap on the number of questions that you can complete. You'll also get access to all of the video tutorials, detailed workings for all of the questions that you complete, access to all the analytical features, access to the exam analytics, optimize learn, which is basically after a bit of time, the system will be able to identify your strengths and weaknesses, and it will then personally optimize the questions for you. So, again, another really great revision tool. And probably the best part of the premium membership is you get access to a 2-week free trial. So you can sign up for a few weeks, test it out, see if you like the premium features. If you don't, then you can just cancel your account and you won't have to pay a penny. So I hope you found this useful, and thanks for watching the video, guys.